How's it going, guys? Welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS review. Now, I missed last week's episode, which I apologise for. I've actually been really ill these past few days, sort of getting back into it. You might be able to hear it in my voice still, but we're getting a little bit better now. And this episode was actually a good way to lighten the mood, I guess, because this episode was actually really funny, which, for this series, it's been quite a serious tone throughout. The only bit of sort of levity we get is from Ignis. Just some of his one-liners that we get is pretty awesome, and he was pretty good in this episode as well. However, what was his name? Shima, the side character who... he's been kind of there in the background. I knew at some point he'd be introduced into the story. My thoughts were he was going to discover Yusaku's identity, and they were going to be kind of paired off like that, because now he knows his secret identity. This kind of happens. That still could happen in this series, but I thought this episode was quite interesting because we see him for the first time going to Link VRAINS, which I thought was quite weird, considering he's in the dueling club and he never really goes into Link VRAINS. This is his first time. So, yeah, that's kind of weird. And I probably should have guessed who the character was in the preview for the next episode last week, which turns out to be him. But no, he made me laugh quite a few times. In his duel against that Knight of Hanoi guy, which he somehow was able to win just by doing one move. He literally summoned something and then defeated his opponent. The guy draws his hand and he's got absolute garbage. And then he draws his hand and he's got absolute garbage as well. And they just sort of look at each other and like, got the perfect hand. I just kind of like the bluffing. And I've never really seen this in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Series before, at least not to my knowledge, where both people get awful starting hands, because that happens. Because there's no mulligans in Yu-Gi-Oh! I think in Magic the Gathering, if you start with a bad hand, you can, you know, get rid of it and then redraw once or something like that. And obviously that doesn't exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! So this does happen a lot. So I was kind of glad to see that, just sort of the humour that involved with that. However, I'm going to make one argument though. The bad hand was actually really good. He got like really powerful monsters, and he had hand destruction. I've completely forgot the name of that card, but he gets rid of 2 of his powerful monsters, and then he draws Solar Recharge. No, not Solar Recharge. That's the other one. Soul Charge, right? That's the right one. So he can summon all his monsters back. He pays like 3,000 life points, and he gets the free 2,200 attack point monsters. I thought he was going to go into a Link monster, but I guess that he didn't, and he goes into that big level 10 monster. That was something else I wanted to check. So, the monster he summons... hold on, I did write it down somewhere. What was it called? Steel Swarm Hercules. Now, he attributed 3 Steel Swarm monsters to summon this. And I know it's level 10, but is its effect that it requires 3 monsters to be tributed? Because he didn't tribute 3 monsters just because it was a level 10, did he? I was just curious. So, what I'm trying to say is I don't think his hand was that bad, really. Not really worth complaining about. But the duel overall was really funny. Some of the things that was going on in his head where he was thinking that Yusaku must be really, like... building him up kind of thing, and just some of the things he thinks, and then when he cuts to reality and he's like talking to himself, a lot of moments actually legitimately made me laugh, which I was very surprised having that episode. So we had the name of this character revealed, which is Faust, and he's one of the 3 people that was sort of instigating these Another creations, and he's using this opportunity to give, I assume, Shima that Cyburst Wizard. I'm not sure how he's managed to do this, but he's give it him so that he can sort of manipulate the situation to get Yusaku to appear. Which Yusaku will be doing, but he's looking for Shima's real-world body because he's actually been kidnapped in the real world, which I was quite surprised about. And we actually had it mentioned by Yusaku where he's finally realised that the people that he's fighting against, the Knights of Hanoi, he's been fighting them all in this virtual space, but for the first time he's actually been seeing them in the real world now. So that sort of reveals that these online personas are actually real people. And there's some sort of parallel between talking to people on the internet and then like being real or whatever, but yeah, there's that kind of thing going on there. We discover as well, something that's been leading up, is that Ignis has been doing all sorts of upgrades on his dual discs. So now he's become like a little hover drone. So he can sort of fly around the city now and sort of scan the area for people that he's looking for. So my thought was that he was trying to develop a way to escape, but maybe that's what this is for still. But I thought it was quite funny, made me laugh. Now he can fly around and everything. And he even did like a classic, you know what drones are like when like YouTubers use them to record themselves. But he crashes straight into the side of a building, made me laugh. I do have a question for you guys though. So the 2 people that have been defeated in the Knights of Hanoi, that girl and that chap, the girl that was defeated last week, are they dead or are they just in a coma or something? Because I have absolutely no idea. Because they make an effort where she sort of releases the antivirus or whatever it was to free all the Anothers, and then that was at the cost of something with her. So I don't know if she's unconscious or she's dead. Can anybody let me know in the comment section below? Just to let me know what has happened. I mean, we saw Revolver sort of close her eyes as if she's dead. So yeah, I'm just going to assume that she died due to her actions. So yeah, this as well sort of solidifies the fact that the Knights of Hanoi are not as evil as you think they were, because they seem to be doing good things despite the bad things they're doing. Yeah, but anyway guys, let me know what you thought of this episode in the comment section below. This episode I thought was really funny, I really liked it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode. I'm curious to see how their duel goes on in a speed duel, because I imagine that, what was his name? It was Lonely Brave, and then it became Brave Max, wasn't it? That was his names. I imagine he's not going to be a very good duelist on the speed duels, but maybe he'll end up winning anyway. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below. In fact, did we even get to see what his deck was in the end? If anybody knows what deck he was playing, Shima, in the end, it was just like a nature deck, wasn't it? Like a beast warrior? I don't know. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching. Talk to you later.